Hello, my friends. Today we are starting a story that is not like the others. This is not just a story about clothes. It's a story about power, money, beauty, and lies. This is the dark side of fashion. The side that many people don't see. The world of expensive brands, beautiful models, and big runways may look perfect. But behind the lights, there is something very different. Let's begin at the front row. A fashion show in Paris. Bright lights. Loud music. Famous people. Reporters. Photographers. And on the stage, tall models walk like they are not even real. Their clothes shine. Their faces are cold. Everyone claps. Everyone smiles. But what happens after the show ends? Let me take you behind the curtain. One model, her name is Anna, walks off the runway. She looks perfect, but she is tired and hungry. She hasn't eaten all day. She drank only black coffee. Why? Because her agent said she must stay thin. Very thin. Your face is beautiful, he said. But your hips are too wide. Anna is only 19 years old. She wants to be a star. She dreams of being on the cover of Vogue. But the price is high. No food. No sleep. No time for friends. Only casting calls, long flights, and fake smiles. Anna is not alone. Many young girls enter fashion hoping to find fame. But many find something else. Pressure. Fear. Sadness. Some lose their health. Some lose their joy. Some are used by people in power. And still the world watches the runway and says, "Wow, that's beautiful." But is it? This story is not just about Anna. It's about what the fashion industry hides. It's about what really happens behind the scenes. And as we go deeper, you will see the truth. In the next part, you will meet the people who control this world. The designers. The bosses. The ones with real power. They create the trends. They choose who is in and who is out. Are you ready? Because once you see behind the curtain, you may never see fashion the same way again. In every kingdom there are rulers. In the world of fashion, they are not kings and queens. They are designers, editors, and brand owners. You know their names. Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, Chanel. Or, these are not just brands. They are empires. And the people behind them, they are the real power. Let's talk about one of them. His name is Marco. He is the creative director of a luxury fashion house. He wears black every day. His sunglasses are always on. He speaks softly, but everyone listens. Why? Because Marco decides what is in. If he puts feathers on a jacket, people copy it. If he shows ripped jeans, the world wears ripped jeans. One man. One show. Millions of followers. But behind his success, there is a cold truth. Fashion is not just about creativity. It's about control. Control over trends. Control over people. Designers like Marco don't just design clothes. They design ideas. They say what is beautiful. They say what is ugly. And the world believes them. But who gives them that power? Fashion magazines do. At the top of these magazines are editors. The most famous one, Anna Wintour, the woman behind Vogue. They call her the Ice Queen. When she likes a designer, their career explodes. When she ignores them, they disappear. Just one photo in Vogue can make a brand rich. That is power. But fashion media is not always honest. Sometimes it works like this. Big brand pays money. Magazine writes nice article. Readers think the brand is amazing. But the truth? It was paid. It was planned. This is not fashion. This is business. And in business there are winners and losers. So while you look at a dress and think, "Wow, that's beautiful," remember this. It was chosen for you. You didn't decide. Someone powerful told you what to like. Let's talk about beauty. Fashion tells us what beauty looks like. Tall. Thin. Young. Clear skin. Small nose. Long legs. But who decided this? Did you? Or did fashion decide for you? Meet Sophia. She is 16 years old. She follows fashion models on Instagram. She sees their perfect bodies, perfect skin, perfect lives. She looks in the mirror and starts to cry. Her nose is not small. Her legs are not long. Her skin has pimples. She thinks, I'm ugly. But Sophia is not ugly. She is just normal. She is real. But fashion never shows real. It shows edited bodies. It shows faces with filters. It shows models who don't even look like themselves. This is the danger. Fashion creates a dream, but that dream becomes a prison. Young girls stop eating. Boys feel ashamed of their body. Teenagers ask for plastic surgery, all because they think, if I look like the model, I will be happy. But happiness does not come from size 0. It does not come from perfect skin. It comes from confidence, from feeling good in your own skin. Yet fashion sells the opposite. Sells insecurity, shows you a problem, then sells you a product to fix it. Too fat? Buy this dress. Too old? Buy this cream. Not beautiful enough? Buy this bag. But the truth is, the problem was never you. The problem is the message. Fashion looks beautiful, but behind the beauty there is business. Big business. Let's talk numbers. One dress from a luxury brand can cost $3,000. A handbag? $5,000 or more. A pair of shoes? $1,200. But how much do they cost to make? Sometimes only $50. Why so expensive? Because you're not just buying a product. You're buying an idea of success, of class, of beauty. Luxury brands know this. They don't sell clothes. They sell dreams. They sell identity. They sell the feeling of being special. That's why some people buy bags they can't afford. They take loans. They skip rent. Just to feel seen. But what if you don't have money for luxury? Then comes fast fashion. Cheap clothes. New styles every week. Big stores. Low prices. You walk in for socks. You walk out with a full outfit. Feels like fun. But the cost is hidden. To make cheap fashion fast, companies need cheap labor, cheap materials, cheap rules. So they go to poor countries. They hire people for $2 a day. They make them work 12 hours. No breaks. No rights. No safety. In some factories, workers are just children. Their hands are small. Their pay is smaller. And the environment? Every year the world throws away billions of clothes. Mountains of fabric. Tons of waste. Toxic dyes in rivers. Plastic fibers in the ocean. All for a shirt that is worn twice. And forgotten. This is the true price of beauty. Not in dollars, but in lives. On the surface, fashion is full of light. Red carpets. Flashing cameras. Models smiling. Celebrities posing. But what happens when the cameras turn off? Many models live two lives. One for the public. One in the shadows. Behind the makeup there is stress. Behind the smile there is fear. Not every model is rich. Not every model is safe. Some live in crowded apartments. 6 girls, 1 room. No privacy. No money. They wait for the next job, hoping someone will notice them. Agencies make promises. You'll be a star, they say. But sometimes they take more than they give. They take passport copies. They take control. Some girls are sent to parties, not to model, but to be seen, to make the brand look good, to be the beautiful decoration at the table. And at these parties, there are powerful men. Men with money. Men with cameras. Men who want more than a photo. Some girls say no. Others are too afraid. Many don't speak at all. Because in fashion, silence is power. If you speak out, you lose jobs. You lose friends. You lose your place. So the abuse continues. Quiet. Hidden. Dressed in diamonds. And the public? They see the magazine cover. They say, "She's so lucky." But luck has nothing to do with it. This world runs on image. And sometimes that image is a mask. A beautiful mask that hides a broken heart. You walk into a store. You see hundreds of clothes. Different colors. Different styles. You think, I can choose anything I like. But can you? Look closer. Almost every brand follows the same trends. Wide pants. Tiny bags. Neon shoes. Feels new. Feels fresh. But it's the same everywhere. Why? Because trends are not born on the street. They are created in rooms. By people you will never see. Fashion shows the trend. Celebrities wear it. Influencers post it. Magazines praise it. Shops sell it. And you? You follow it. Not because you love it, but because you see it again and again. That's how fashion works. It repeats an idea until you believe it. You start to think, maybe I need this too. You feel behind, outdated, uncool. And then you buy. This is not freedom. This is control with a smile. You think you are choosing, but really you are being guided. Step by step. Trend by trend. Even your style is not truly yours. It is shaped by ads, influencers, and algorithms. They show you what you want before you even want it. You are not shopping. You are being programmed. Fashion makes you feel like an individual, but it treats you like a product. Because when everyone wants to be different, they often end up looking the same. In fashion, beauty is not enough. You must also stay visible, stay wanted, stay talked about. For models and influencers, fame is not a gift. It's a job, a full-time job. Every morning they wake up and ask, what do I post today? A photo, a video, a brand deal, something to stay in the spotlight. Because if people forget your face, you disappear. Fame in fashion is fast. 1 month you are the face of a campaign. Next month no one calls. The pressure to stay famous is heavy. You must always look perfect. You must always smile. You must always be on. But behind the screen many are breaking. They feel anxious. They feel lonely. They fear every wrinkle, every rumor, every missed call. Social media makes it worse. A model posts a photo. One bad comment. You look fat. You look tired. You're not pretty anymore. She reads it again and again. It doesn't matter if 1,000 people say she's beautiful. One hateful voice is louder. And so she starts to change. More filters. More makeup. More surgery. All to stay in the game. All to keep the followers. All to keep the brands interested. But how long can she do this? Fame, like fashion, moves fast. And when the world moves on, fame leaves you behind. Quietly, coldly, completely. You buy a shirt. It looks good. Feels soft. You wear it twice, maybe 3 times. Then what? It shrinks. It tears. The color fades. You throw it away. This is not an accident. It's part of the plan. In today's fashion world, many clothes are made to break. Not because they must, but because you must buy more. This is called planned obsolescence. It means something is designed to fail, so you return to the store. Faster fashion means faster waste. In the past, people had 2 coats. Now they have 20, but wear only 5. And still they buy more. Why? Because fashion teaches us that old means wrong. Last year's color? Out. Last season's bag? Ugly. Wearing the same thing twice. Embarrassing. So the cycle continues. Shops give you more sales. More drops. More collections. Every month a new must-have. But every must-have becomes must-throw in weeks. And where does it all go? To landfills. To deserts. To oceans. Tons of clothes buried and burned. Some never worn. Some still with tags. And the factories keep running. More clothes. more trends, more destruction. All for what? To feel new for one moment and empty the next. This is not fashion. This is addiction in disguise. Fashion is sold with smiles, on runways, in magazines, on Instagram. But behind every smile, someone is paying the price. Not just with money, but with their health, their time, even their lives. Let's go back to the factory. Not the shiny office in New York. The factory in Bangladesh. Or Vietnam. Or Ethiopia. Hot, loud, crowded. One woman sits at a sewing machine. Her name is Lila. She works 14 hours a day. She earns $3. Her hands move fast. No breaks. No mistakes. If she's too slow, she's shouted at. If she complains, she's fired. Lila makes clothes for brands you know. You see them in the mall. You wear them. But you don't see her face. She has a child at home. But she never sees him. She works to survive. And what happens if there's a fire? Or the building cracks? No alarms. No exits. No help. In 2013, over 1,000 workers died in one factory collapse. The world cried. Brands promised change. But 10 years later, the machines still run. And the workers are still afraid. And it's not just workers. It's the farmers who grow the cotton, the children who pick it, the rivers that turn blue from chemical dyes. The system is cheap, only for the buyer. But someone somewhere always pays. So when you buy a $5 shirt, ask yourself, how can it be so cheap? And then ask, who made it cheap? Not everyone stays silent. Not everyone accepts the system. Some people fight back. Designers, workers, shoppers. They are building a new kind of fashion. One with heart. One with truth. There is a small studio in London. It makes clothes by hand. No machines. No mass production. Each piece takes time. Each worker is paid fairly. They use old fabric. Nothing goes to waste. The clothes are not trendy. They are timeless. Made to last. Made to love. There's a young woman in India. She leads protests outside factories. She teaches workers their rights. She shows them how to say no. To speak up. To stay safe. There's a girl in New York. She stopped buying new clothes. She shops secondhand. She swaps with friends. She wears the same outfit proudly. Again and again. These people are not loud. They don't have millions of followers. But their choices matter. Because every choice is a vote. A vote for the kind of world we want. Fast or fair. Fake or real. Cruel or kind. Change does not happen in one day. But it starts with one person. One voice. One question. Who made my clothes? And slowly the silence breaks. Not with anger, but with awareness. Not with shame, but with strength. This is not just about fashion. It's about dignity. It's about respect. It's about remembering that behind every tag, there is a person, and that person deserves better. Fashion can be more than beauty, more than trends, more than business. It can tell stories. It can carry culture. Can bring people together. In a small village in Mexico, women sit in a circle. They don't follow the latest trends. They follow tradition. With colorful threads and quiet hands, they make blouses that carry history. Each stitch is a word. Each pattern is a memory. These clothes are not fast. They are slow. They are made with care. In Nigeria, a young designer blends modern style with African prints. He honors his roots while dressing the future. He hires local tailors. He teaches young artists. He brings pride back to his people. Fashion at its best does not divide. It includes. Doesn't say, you're too fat. You're too dark. You're too poor. Says, you are enough. Your story matters. Your beauty is real. When fashion finds its soul, stops being a machine, It becomes a mirror that shows the world not as it wants to be, but as it truly is. Raw, diverse, powerful. You don't need to follow a trend to belong. You don't need a logo to be seen. True style is not about impressing others. It's about expressing yourself. And when fashion makes space for every voice, then it becomes something greater. It becomes human again. You stand in a store. A shirt is on sale. It's cheap. It looks nice. You feel the pull. But now you know more. You remember Anna, the model who was told not to eat. You remember Lila, the woman working for $3 a day. You remember the rivers dyed with waste. The landfills filled with clothes. The pain hidden behind the price tag. And suddenly the shirt doesn't look so cheap. It's easy to forget. To shop fast. To click buy now and move on. But every choice you make has power. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to throw out your closet. But you can begin. Buy less. Choose better. Ask questions. Support small brands. Repair instead of replace. Value what you already own. And most of all, see fashion for what it really is. Not just something we wear, but something we build. You are not just a consumer. You are a creator. You shape the industry with your attention, your money, your voice. They say fashion is fast, but you can slow it down. They say fashion is shallow, but you can go deeper. The industry will not change by itself, but with you. Just might. The lights go down. The music fades. The show is over. But the truth? It's just beginning. You've seen what hides behind the shine. The pressure. The waste. The silence. The strength. You've walked through the factories. You've stood backstage. You've heard the voices no one hears. Now the choice is yours. Will fashion stay just a game of money and mirrors? Or can it become something honest? Something alive? Not every brand will change. Not every model will speak. Not every buyer will care. But you are not everyone. You are you. And you are awake now. You can still love fashion. You can still enjoy style. But you don't have to be blind. Ask. Learn. Act. Because fashion isn't only about what's on your body. It's also about what's in your heart. And when your style reflects your soul, that's when fashion becomes freedom. Thank you for listening to this story. We hope it opened your eyes, not just to the world of fashion, but to the world around you. This story was created to help you learn English, but also to help you think deeper, feel stronger, and speak louder. If this story made you feel something, share it, talk about it, use it to improve your English and your awareness. And remember, you don't just wear clothes, you wear values. Choose them wisely.